I'm on my way to the airport, and in this video we're going to talk about things that you should be aware of, keep in mind, and be sure to do on travel day. Welcome everyone. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to ask that you please take a moment to subscribe by clicking my face in the corner and ring that bell icon up above so you know when I post new videos. So I wanted to start talking about some things that I always do routinely on travel day. Now, the first thing I think you should be aware of is what you're going to need in order to smoothly get through those first few minutes or hours of your travel day. So that means, for me, have your travel documents. Make sure that you have a photo ID. Make sure that you have your boarding pass either printed out or on the app on your phone. I've said this countless times, but I think it bears repeating. I not only have it on the app, I save it to my photos, I save it to the wallet. I didn't print it out today, but I will print it out when I get to the kiosk at the airport. So just make sure that you have everything that you need. Secondly, give yourself plenty of time. I travel to the airport every single week, so I know the time frame. Right now, I'm heading to the airport, and I left about 2 hours and 10 minutes, 2 hours and 15 minutes prior to my departure time. That might be early for some, might be late for some. It takes me about a half hour to get to the airport. By the time I park my car and get in the shuttle takes me to the check-in area, relatively small airport in Milwaukee, and it usually goes very smoothly. I am typically at my gate about an hour before flight time with this schedule. It's not always this exact way. Right now it is 7:47. That's not my plane, although it sounds like it. That's what time it is. My flight is 9:53. Now, one thing I have to be aware of is the traffic patterns this time of day, because this is morning rush hour. So I am taking an alternate route. For me, I know the different routes to get to the airport. There's two primary ones from where I live, and when it's rush hour, I usually take the south route to get to the Milwaukee Airport, Mitchell Field, because I can avoid traffic. So understand the delays, the traffic patterns, and things that are very likely to happen when you're traveling to the airport. The next thing you want to keep in mind is, what are you going to do when you get there? When you get to the airport, have your plan in mind, know where you're going to go. I always park at the same parking lot, so I know where I'm going, I know the exits I'm taking, I know the whole process. At that particular lot, I do have an app, so when I go in, I just let the machine read the app. It opens a gate, it allows me to get in. There's always a person there that tells you where you should park. I know the routine. If you don't know the routine, you might want to give yourself a little bit of time. When I go to O'Hare, I also have a routine that I follow. Typically, I do two things when I go to O'Hare. If it's a really early morning flight, I don't want to hit Chicago traffic, so I might go down the night before. There's a Hampton Inn, Manheim, that I stay at, and they have a program where you can leave your vehicle parked there, and they will have the shuttle take you to O'Hare. Sometimes I do that. If it's not a real early morning flight, there is a parking lot almost directly across the street from that hotel that I typically park at. It's really nice because that way I'm not fumbling or struggling. I know all of the exits from the interstate. I know exactly where I'm going, and there's not going to be delays. So just know where you're heading, know where you're going to be parking, and it's going to make your life so much easier. The next thing you want to do is know where you're going to be checking in for your airline. Sometimes, depending on how big the airports are, you might want to know the terminal that you're going to, because that terminal might be, the check-in area might be in a different location. So make sure that you know that terminal where you're going to be heading. Next thing I always like to be sure to have, and once again, I just showed you my wallet, but make sure that you have some money for tipping. Tipping is one of those things that people just don't think about because you're so concerned with making sure that your bags are packed and you remembered everything and you turned off the lights and you whatever it is that you do when you leave home. But there's going to be shuttle drivers, there's going to be people, if you do curbside check-in, when you check into your hotel, someone might help you with your bags. And there's always going to be those people that are going to customarily get a gratuity. So you want to make sure that you have some cash on hand. Most of the time now on planes, they don't accept cash anymore. So if you're going to make a purchase on the plane, you want to have your credit card handy and available. Personally, even though I keep showing you my wallet, I don't like to use my wallet. What's probably going to happen, what I routinely do, that wallet's going to go into my carry-on, and I'm just going to take what I need, which means one credit card, my picture ID, I'm flying domestically, so that'll be my driver's license, and some cash. Those are the things I'm going to put in my pocket, and the rest of the wallet is going to just go into my carry-on. So that's the routine that I like to use. A couple more quick things that I thought about when I was getting to the airport. Number one, when I'm traveling in the winter and I park my car, and this is just for cold areas, if you live down in Florida, you probably don't have to worry about this, but I always flip my windshield wipers up. So if there's any ice or snow when I get back, I don't want those windshield wipers to be frozen down onto the windshield. I like to be able to scrape the windshield, and when it's clear, I can put those blades back down and I'm ready to go. I don't want to, I've had more windshield wipers be destroyed by being frozen down in the ice to my windshield, and I'm in such a doggone hurry to get out of there. I scrape them and I turn on the windshield wipers and they're wiping over a bunch of ice. Not a great idea. The other thing is to know where you're going to put everything. So as soon as I get on the shuttle, or when you get through security, or whenever you have a chance, you want to put things away so when you're back from your trip you can find them. I know exactly where my key is, my key fob for my car. I know exactly where my ticket is. When I get back on the shuttle, they ask for a ticket, so they know where you parked your car. I know exactly where all those things are. I always take a picture of that ticket. That way when I get back, if I don't have the ticket, I have a picture on my phone and I know where I parked my car, what slot, what parking spot I have my car parked. And then I always put the ticket in my wallet. And as far as my key fob, I'll show you where I put that. Right here, my new bag. This is really nice because there's a little hook right there, and the key fob fits right onto it. And then I can either slide it in that pocket or just let it dangle. And either way, I know exactly where my key fob is at any given time. So it's just a few more quick pointers. Now you'll also notice that I am sitting by a gate where there is absolutely no activity. My plane doesn't start boarding for about another 50 minutes. So I'm gonna sit here and relax. If I wanna get a cup of coffee or something, I don't have to be in all the hubbub of my gate. Let me show you where I'm sitting right now. Look at this. You could shoot a cannon off here, but the nice thing is nobody is here to bother me or be bothered by my making a video. Just very, very relaxing. Now, don't lose track of time. It's very easy to get to another gate and then forget about your gate. So still pay close attention because there are sometimes gate changes and you don't want to get there and find out that boarding is closed or they change your gate and you're running to another terminal or something along those lines. There's one last thing that I'm going to say, even though this isn't really something you can do at the last minute on the morning before travel, and that is to get enrolled in one of the programs that get you through security easier. For most of us that fly domestically, that's simply going to be TSA Precheck. For me, since I do international travel, not extensive, but to Canada, I do have Nexus. Nexus includes TSA Precheck. There's other programs, there's Global Entry, and there's Clear. But I would encourage you to get involved with one of those programs, because that way, when you get to the airport, the TSA Precheck line is just so much shorter, and you're going to be able to get through that more quickly, get to your gate more quickly, relax. In the case with me, when it's 7 in the morning, 8 in the morning, you might want to grab a cup of coffee, maybe a bagel or a muffin or something at the airport, whatever you prefer. And it's always nice to not be stressed by that one last thing. Am I going to make it through security? Not have to take off my shoes, not have to take off my belt, not have to take my laptop out of my bag and all that sort of. Well, you might still have to take off your belt. You still have to go through a metal detector. But those are some things that you might want to keep in mind when you are getting ready for travel day, the day of travel, before you even hit the airport. As always, I encourage you to like and share the videos. Leave your comments down below. Share your ideas with our viewers. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And don't forget to ring that bell icon up above. That way you'll know when I post new videos.